Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Series Stars. It's always a joy to have you here with us. I hope you're feeling wonderful today, because we're diving into a love story that has fascinated fans and skeptics alike, a story that seems to resist time, rumors, and the noise of the spotlight. The title says it all, Alina and Alp Navras, a love that refuses to dim and keeps burning brighter. Today, we'll walk through the layers of their connection, the storms they've weathered, and the spark that refuses to fade, no matter how intense the glare of fame becomes. If you haven't yet subscribed, now's the perfect moment. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment with us. Let's begin. More than ever, in a world where speed and scrolling often replace real connection, it can feel rare to witness love that isn't afraid of its imperfections. The constant parade of curated images and carefully edited moments can make authenticity feel like a relic from the past. That's exactly why Alina and Alp have become such a touchstone. For many who've followed their paths, both individually and together, their story embodies the hope that real love can still bloom in the most demanding of environments and survive the tests that come with living under a public microscope. For those who are just discovering them, Alina and Alp are two of the most magnetic figures in the industry. Their careers evolved in parallel, their names often sounding in the same breath, their images sharing headlines and stages. Their connection, however, has never been presented as a flawless fantasy. Instead, it has been a journey of triumphs paired with turbulence, red carpet highs and quiet moments of doubt, radiant premieres and private hurdles that required courage and understanding. And it is precisely in the way they've confronted these moments, the misread gestures, the sudden bursts of attention, the brutal pace of work, that their resilience and devotion shine. We tend to picture eternal love as a string of harmonious moments, a perfect soundtrack playing over a montage of sunsets and laughter. But real love rarely looks like that. Especially not when cameras flash, rumors swirl, and every expression can be overanalyzed. What makes Alina and Alp's journey feel so grounded is that it has never relied on pretending. They've allowed glimpses of their vulnerabilities to speak louder than rehearsed perfection. Their hesitations, their hopes, the fears they had to voice, all of it helped define the sincerity of what they share. From interviews to candid appearances, there's a current of understanding that runs between them, something that doesn't require dramatic declarations to be felt. It's the way they hang back for each other in a crowded corridor, the way one reaches for the other's hand without fanfare, the way a smile eases a tense moment, the way a laugh interrupts a serious conversation and resets everything. These details tell a story too intricate for headlines and too intimate for overt displays. The effect is unmistakable, a rhythm that deepens with time and experience. To understand why their bond strikes such a chord, we have to talk about what truly sustains it. The foundation is communication, not just talking, but listening with intention, even when emotions peak or misunderstandings blur the edges. We've seen them navigate tough questions with grace, respond to rumors without feeding the fire, and maintain a dialogue that looks less like defense and more like gentleness. When the world feels louder than it should, they've learned to turn toward each other, to look past the noise, and to speak in the language they trust. Honesty, patience, and empathy. There's also a profound mutual admiration at play, not just for big wins or box office numbers, but for character. For the discipline that shows up at dawn calls, for the kindness extended to crews and fans, for staying true to values when it would be easier to bend. You can sense how much they respect the other's craft, how they celebrate each triumph as if it were their own, and how they stand guard over one another's peace of mind. That respect forms a safety net under every risk they take and every challenge they accept. Resilience has been a constant companion in their story. Time apart because of grueling schedules, the tug-of-war between personal lives and professional demands, the pressure to be available, polished, camera-ready, these are the invisible weights of fame. And yet, when distance stepped in, they didn't let it define them. When headlines tried to frame a narrative, they wrote their own. When doubts crept in, they returned to what they know, that love asks for effort, courage, and a willingness to start again after every misunderstanding. They've turned setbacks into lessons, and lessons into quiet strength. Equally compelling is their devotion to growth, individually and together. Neither seems interested in comfort that breeds complacency. Instead, they've aimed for balance, to push forward without losing themselves, to dream without losing each other. They talk about goals with intention, sketching a shared future in gentle strokes, never rushing it but never ignoring it either. It's like watching two architects lay bricks with care, not a palace overnight, but a home that gets sturdier each season. We could list the moments that made fans swoon, a supportive post at just the right time, a look that told the whole story in the span of a second, a subtle gesture that only people paying close attention would even catch. But beneath every attention-grabbing moment, there are quieter ones that matter more, sitting side by side after a long day, cheering for the other's new project without a hint of rivalry, sharing a rare off day and letting silence do the talking. These are the scenes that don't make every headline, but they write the enduring script. The media circus is unavoidable, and at times it has felt relentless. Comments dissect their body language, theories pop up like weeds after rain, and the noise threatens to drown out what's real. Still, they've managed to keep the core of their relationship private, sacred even, without hiding from the public who cares about them. They've learned the delicate art of stepping forward and stepping back, of giving enough to quiet speculation but holding enough to protect their peace. That balance is harder than it looks, and maintaining it requires trust. In each other, and in the way they choose to love. And yes, there have been misunderstandings, how could there not be? Busy seasons that left little room for pause, exhaustion that made tiny disagreements feel magnified, moments when words came out wrong because the day had been too long. What mattered was the after, the apology that wasn't just words, the forgiveness that wasn't just performance, the promise that came with action. Every time life tested their patience, they chose the harder thing, to keep showing up. When we talk about love that lasts, we talk about devotion in motion, not a perfect portrait, but a living story. Alina and Alp remind us that partnership can be a practice, an ongoing choice to protect and uplift one another. The growth we witness in them isn't just about careers evolving, it's about the person each is becoming beside the other. They cherish not only the shine of shared success but the quiet bravery of facing fears, naming them, and doing the work to move past them. Fans have seen enough to believe. The way they exchange a look on a red carpet as if to check in, just for a heartbeat. The way the mood lightens when one of them cracks a joke in the middle of a tense interview. The way a hand rests at the small of a back, steady and reassuring, as they navigate a crowd. These details might seem tiny, but they tell the truth. Love is built in minutes, not only in milestones. Over time, that gentleness has become their signature. It's not explosive passion that burns out, it's a steady flame that doesn't need to prove itself. And that may be why their story resonates so deeply. It suggests that love can be both extraordinary and ordinary, glittering and grounded, dreamlike and disciplined. It's a reminder that the most enduring connections aren't resistant to storms, but securely anchored through them. So what are the pillars that keep their story standing? Clear conversation when things get complicated. Earnest admiration for who the other is, not just what the other does. Resilience that refuses to let headlines dictate chapters. A shared vision that turns someday into steps they take today. And, of course, a tenderness that keeps returning, even after the hardest days, to say, "We choose us again." In the end, this is not just a tale of two stars, it's a promise that love, when cared for, can endure the harshest light. Alina and Alp show us that the heart of a relationship doesn't have to be sacrificed for success, that fame doesn't have to flatten feeling, and that privacy and presence can coexist. Their story isn't a still image, it keeps evolving, deepening, growing roots as it grows wings. As we wrap up, let's gather the threads we've followed tonight. We explored the power of true communication, listening that holds space and speaks with care. We saw the fuel of mutual admiration, not just for achievements but for character. We recognized resilience as a quiet hero, turning obstacles into opportunities. And we witnessed their commitment to personal and shared growth, the blueprint for a future that they continue to sketch together with patience and intention. Their story gives many of us hope in a skeptical age. It shows that love can be strong without being loud, private without being hidden, real without being perfect. And perhaps that's the lesson worth keeping close. When love is nurtured with dedication, respect, and understanding, it doesn't just survive, it transforms. It gets braver. It lasts. Thank you for joining us on this heartfelt look at Alina Boz and Alp Navras. We've loved sharing this reflection with you, and now the conversation is yours. What speaks to you most about their connection? Which moments made you believe in the quiet endurance of their bond? What lessons have you carried into your own relationships from watching them weather the spotlight with grace? Tell us in the comments. We can't wait to read your thoughts and talk with you there. If this story moved you, if it made you smile or rethink what lasting love can look like, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a reminder that real connection is still out there. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Turkish Series Stars and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the stories we bring your way. Until next time, take care of your hearts, and may love keep finding you, in the quiet, in the chaos, and in every moment between.